This is When Darkness Comes, published by Twilight Creations in 2002. It's a horror adventure board game with role-playing elements, and it can be used with or without a games master. This base set, The Awakening, comes with 6 pre-generated characters, but also includes rules to create your own characters. There are also 6 scenarios which can be used without a games master in the booklet, and also a short campaign. I'm going to have a go at the first scenario in the booklet in order to try and show how the rules work, at least as I understand them. So I've set up the board here. This is the tile where the characters are going to start, and all of these question mark symbols need to have an encounter token put on them. I'm going to try and keep these face down so I don't know what they are. And there's another one there. The exclamation marks are related to scenario-specific things. So there are a number of number tokens which are placed face down on these. And this particular scenario, however, doesn't use any of those. So we're just using the ordinary encounter tokens. So as I understand the game, it is a bit of a role-playing game, so it's a bit more free-form than your average everyday board game. So the first thing I want my folks to do here is to get into this building. Now this door has a 2 lock on it. There's also a 2 lock here. The same lock thing applies to any windows that might be on the same wall. So this character Kirk, he has the lockpick skill to a value of 3. Now skills to a value of 1 to 3 add 1 die, skills to the value of 4 to 6 add 2 die, and so on. So he's got 4 dice for his dexterity and an extra die for his skill, and he needs to roll a value of 2 or more. I'll explain that in a second. Now what we've got here, going by the rules of the base game, we have a pair, and 2 pairs don't count in these rules. If we look here, the lowest result is a 6 high, that's 1 point. 1 pair is 2 points, 3 straight is 3 points, 3 of a kind is 4 points, 4 straight is 5 points, 4 of a kind is 6 points, and then you've got 5 straight and 5 of a kind. So for this 2 lock he needed a value of 2, and he has a pair, so he is able to unlock this door. And now what's he going to do? Okay. Now he's unlocked the door, he can invite the other 2 players onto the square just inside. Oops. So now they're all in the building and they can start exploring. The only door out of this small office is just here, and there's a token just there. So I'm going to set one of the other characters off. I will send Brian onto that token in a second. He's going to roll his movement, and when he rolls his movement he always includes the red die. So we have a 6 high, so that's +1 to his defense stroke health score, which is 4, so I get 5 movement. But more than that, when you roll a 6 on the fate die, you roll on the woohoo chart. I am not making this up. So you roll 2 dice on the woohoo chart if you roll a 6 on your red fate die when you're rolling for movement. So I rolled a 6, and that is steal 1 victory point from all other players. Well, nobody's got any victory points at the moment, so that doesn't apply. But if he rolled a 1 on his red fate die when he rolls to move, he would have to roll on this chart, which I won't dignify by reading out. So those are the negative events that could happen. So Brian just wants to move on to this token here, and what he's going to do for his action is flip it and see what's on the other side. Just to briefly mention the turn sequence, you can do these 3 actions in any order. You communicate with the other characters, you can move, and you can take 1 action of all these options here. So Brian has moved, and he has flipped over the token, or the disc as they call it. Now I think it is Valerie's turn, and she's going to have a bit of an explore as well. So she has a speed of 3, and she just rolls a 6 high. No, sorry, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's added to her health and defense. That is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't move diagonally in this game. And for her action, she's going to have a look at this, and it is an item. A gun, that'll be useful. So Kirk has a speed of 2, and he rolls a pair. That's not bad. So that is worth 2 added to his health, so that's 6 points of movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for his action, he's going to have a look at what this is. An ally. Another ally. Okay. Now, Brian here is going to try and win over this ally in order to gain their assistance. Now, how he does that is by using his persuasion, which gives him 2 dice, and he has the threaten skill, which is a 2, so that's between 1 and 3, so that gives him 1 extra die. So he's not moving yet, but he is going to try and persuade this ally to be helpful to him. And that ally's value is 1p, so that's we need to roll 1 pair or above. And we do. So we've gained this ally. And I think we gain a victory point for that. Yes, Brian gains a victory point equal to the value there, which he needed to roll. So 1 pair has a victory point value of 2. So as I understand it, Brian gains 2 victory points. Now, Valerie is going to pick up this item here. So in order to pick up an item that is face up, because she turned it face up in the previous turn, you do that automatically and you gain the amount of victory points there. Now 3 straight, let me just look at that. So 3 straight is worth 3 victory points. Okay, so Valerie gets 3 victory points on her way to, I think it was 30 points I'm supposed to get. And this gun will give her 2 extra dice in combat. And she has the RMW skill, and I have no idea what that means, but it somehow relates to this gun. So maybe something weapon, I've no idea. This is just an additional note to the video. The character cards have these cheat sheets on the back, which is really useful. And the character sheets here cover all of the character skills. So RMW is ranged mechanical weapon, for instance. So all the information is there. Now I forgot to move Brian, didn't I? Sorry about that. He rolls his 3 dice. Well, that's not bad, 3 of a kind. Now one slightly frustrating thing with this, until you learn what everything's worth, it's you have to keep looking it up. That's 4 victory points, or 4 value to add to his defense and health of 4, so he can move up to 8 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll flip that over on the next turn. Meanwhile, Valerie is going to move, because it was her sort of turn at that point. She gets to roll on the woohoo table, and she rolls a pair, so that is worth 2. But rolling on the woohoo, that's 4 on the woohoo table, which doesn't sound silly at all. Steal 1 random ally from another player without an opposition roll. Well, she could steal Brian's ally. That would be rather cheeky, wouldn't it? Anyway, so now she can move. Health is 4, added to her pair value. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. She might need to help Brian, even though she just stolen that ally. So Kirk is going to try to persuade this ally to help him out. He has the bluff skill, which gives him 1 extra die because it's a value of 2. So skill value of 1 to 2. Skill value of between 1 and 3 gives you 1 extra die, as I mentioned. So he's going to roll that, and he needs to roll 1 pair. And he doesn't, he rolls a 6 high. So he fails to persuade this ally. Okay, as he's failed to persuade the ally, he gains a failure token. And rather annoyingly, I'm going to have to shuffle these 2 tokens, because you shuffle the one that, he just failed to persuade the ally, so the ally is shuffled back into all the undiscovered tokens on that tile or in that building, and is put back on the board. So Brian here is going to uncover this, and it's another weapon. Excellent. Yeah. So I think they can head out of that building now and try to find some enemies. So I think Valerie's going to move, and she just rolls a 6 high, so that's 5 movement, because a 6 high is worth 1, so you add it to her health, so that's 4 plus 1 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can, when they're inside a building, they can just walk through doors. They're only locked from the outside, or when you're trying to enter them from the outside, you have to roll to unlock them. Okay, that is that ally again. So Brian's going to pick up this gun, and he gets 3 straight. That is 3 victory points for picking that up. And he's going to roll his movement. Oops. That's plus 2, because that's a pair. So health plus 2, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now Kirk is going to see what's under here. It is the ally again. Okay, and I think he's going to avoid. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't want him to build up loads of failure tokens, but I guess he can have another go at trying to persuade her to help him out. That is a pair. So he manages it this time. He gains an ally, and her value is 1 pair, so that's 2 more points, for Kirk, not Brian. And the other guys are going to head out into the city. Now, I think Valerie's going to go. She rolls a pair, so that's 2 points added to her movement of 4. So 1, 2. Let's draw another tile from the stack at random. It's a game store. Perhaps you can find one of the expansions for this. Okay, 1. There's the door. Head for this door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Brian is going to head after her. Rolling his 3. He can roll on the woohoo table, and he also gets a pair, so he can move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rolls on the woohoo, and that's a 5. Which is your next door is unlocked. So that door is unlocked. So I will just put a reminder on it. I'll stick a die on it to remember. try and remember that it's unlocked. Now, Kirk is still in the building. He has his speed of 2. He rolls on the woohoo table because he rolled a 6 on his fate die. But he only got a +1 to his movement. That is 5. I believe that's the locked door, isn't it? Next door is unlocked. So I could put unlocked on that door as well. So he can move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all going to the game store. Now once again I'm going to populate this tile covering all the question marks. I think that's all of them. And I think Kirk is going to come to the front, and he rolls a 6. So he gets +1 to his movement, but he rolls on the woohoo chart again, which is a 3. And that is steal 1 random item from any other player without an opposition roll. He can steal somebody's gun. He'll steal that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now for his action, he's going to try... Oh no, sorry. It's unlocked. I told you I'd forget. So now the other... I only moved him forward so he could pick the lock, but he doesn't need to. Brian's going to... Yeah, Brian's going to go in. I'll mention perception in a moment. That is no use to anyone, that roll. So he just rolls his 1, 2, 3. Actually, where's the door? There's the door. He will go here, I think. And he will flip this over. Another weapon. Oh, that's lucky because he just lost one. So that was his action, wasn't it? So he can pick that up. And Valerie will move in. She rolls a pair, so she adds 2 to her 4 health for movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for her action, she's going to do a perception check. Yeah, so she's got the perception skill. She uses her 3 intelligence dice. Her perception is 3, so a skill of 1 between 1 and 3 gives you an extra die. And we'll see what she gets. 3, 4, 5. 3 straight, that's not bad. Now I'll look at the value of that. Again, this is slightly frustrating. 3 straight, 3 victory points. So that means she can uncover 3 tokens or discs in this building, so we know what everything is. At least at this stage. We've got 2 enemies here and an ally here. So I think Kirk is going to move at this point. Okay, he's just going to move here, and for his action he's going to talk to this ally and try to persuade him. Now 3 straight, oh that's not going to be easy, not going to be easy at all. He's got 2 persuasion and 2 in his bluff skill, so that just gives him 1 extra die. And I'm not going to get, oh, I've got a pair, but I didn't get the 3 straight. So, oh gosh, he gains another failure token. Precisely what I didn't want. He's going to have to use some of his victory points to get rid of those, I think. As you collect your victory points, you can use them for different things. You can re-roll a die. You can add a die to a skill check. You can get rid of a failure disc. And you can cancel a roll on the negative table. And you can buy 1 skill point once you get 10 points. So he's going to probably spend his victory points on getting rid of 1 failure disc, because once he gets 3 we're going to be in trouble. So he's going to cross off those 5 which he's got and get rid of 1 of his failure tokens, because if he gets 3 failure tokens that means that their cover is sort of blown. You're trying to be discreet and not draw attention to yourself in this town, not cause alarm in the local people, because they're not aware of the undead menace. And so if you get 3 failure tokens you lose all of your allies and items. And he's doing quite well with allies and items, so we don't want that to happen. So that's what he's going to do. Now, what's Brian going to do? He's going to take on one of these enemies, I think. Which of these is the weakest? That one, I think. It's still quite hard though. Mind you, he does have a knife, and I think Valerie could come along and help out. So he's going to roll. What does he get with his knife? He gets an extra die in combat, that's alright. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Oh, he rolls 3 of a kind, so once again I will check the table because I can't remember all these things. 3 of a kind is worth 4 points, so he can easily move over to this zombie character here. And he's going to attack using his attack skill of... Sorry, I did that wrong. First of all, he rolls for initiative. Now this character's initiative is 3 straight, and he only has 3 dice for his initiative, so that's not good. But he does get 3 straight. So he attacks first. Now this guy's defense is 4 straight. Brian's attack is 4. He has his knife, and he has his hand-to-hand skill of 3. So he gets 6 dice to try and get a 4 straight. And he does. That's really good. So he defeats this character here. And I will check how many victory points he gets for that. So when you defeat an adversary, you gain victory points equal to the adversary's defense plus attack target number levels. So this adversary here has an attack of 3 straight, which is worth 3, and defense of 4 straight, which is worth 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. So he gets 8 victory points for that, as far as I understand it. So he's doing quite well. So he has a total of 10 now. So Brian's doing all right. And let's see what Valerie does. So Valerie's going to roll her movement dice. So that's a pair, so she adds 2 to her movement. So that easily brings her over here to this character. Now, this guy's initiative is 3 of a kind, so that's quite high. And Valerie's, oh gosh, Valerie's initiative is 2. I'm wasting my time. Yeah, she could use a victory point, I guess. But she may as well just duke it out with him. So Valerie needs to roll a 4 straight because that's what his attack is. And he attacks first. So she's got 4 defense die and she doesn't manage it. So she is going to take a wound. But now it's her turn to attack. So she gets 2 normal attack, 1 for her RMW skill, and 2 for the gun that she found. Now his defense is 3 straight. 4, 5, 6. Yep, she wins. And she gains many victory points. I'll look at the chart again. So this guy's attack is 4 straight. That's worth 5 points. And his defense is 3 straight. That's worth 3 points. So she gains 8 victory points for that win there. So she's got a total of 11. So Brian's going to move out of the shop now. That is a 3 straight. So let me consult the table again. 3 straight is worth 3, so he adds 3 to his defense of 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's draw another tile. It's a house. So 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. Sorry, that's a bit shiny, isn't it? That's a bit better. So we populate this building, putting tokens on all the question marks. Now Valerie's going to move with her speed of 3. Okay, that's nothing special. So her health, because she has damage now, her health is now 3 rather than 4. So her movement is 3. So 1, 2, 3. She's heading in that direction. Kirk is not going to risk another persuasion attempt, and because he doesn't want another failure card, so he's going to roll his speed of 2, and that's nothing special either, so he can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last thing I want to mention is assistance. The characters can assist each other when performing certain tasks apart from perception and movement. So if Kirk was trying to unlock a particularly tricky door, which this isn't, it's only a 1, but and Brian was going to assist him, Kirk would have his normal 4 dice and his lockpick skill, and because Brian is assisting, his dexterity is 3, so if Kirk failed, he would be able to re-roll up to 3 dice because of Brian's initiative and dexterity of 3. So he rolls the dice, and he's actually scored a pair, which is fine. But if he hadn't scored anything remotely useful and wasn't able to unlock that, then he could re-roll 3 of the dice because of Brian's help. This can also be used in combat. So I hope that just gives a little idea of roughly how the game works. It is meant to be a bit of a role-playing game, so there's no, it's not terribly strict. You can wander around and do pretty much what you want, and it's quite neat. You know, I like the modular tiles. There are lots of them. So you just pull one at random. In this scenario, this is the school, which is in 2 parts. It goes together like that. And there's all these other ones. 6 characters to play with. There are other expansions that have been published. One is a sort of spy story. One is an alien story, I think, and there are a few other horror ones as well. So that's pretty much it. It's a nice little game. I like it. And it comes with 6 pewter miniatures. All the dice, of course. So thanks for watching.